Good evening, ladies. Welcome to the final Facebook Live in this Temple Talk series on the 8 pillars of the Mystic Priestess path of self-awakening and soul purpose. I've been so excited leading over the past 8 days, getting so much great feedback. I'm so glad, and it's such a huge confirmation, all of the great shifting you're noticing within yourselves, the feedback I'm getting through private messenger and here on the videos. I'm so glad. It's just a huge confirmation for following that voice within that inspired morning when I awoke with this idea. So this week, over the past 8 days, we've been discussing the concepts of living our destiny, which was last night. We've been talking about seeing our relationships as catalysts for our own personal growth, seeing those in our lives as being mirrors reflecting aspects of ourselves that are wanting attention, focus, and clarity. We've talked about honoring our bodies as a temple of the divine, really falling in love with ourselves, making self-care a deep practice as the sacred feminine's awakening within and without, informing us of our deeper purpose, our destinies, awakening, this deeper part of us that's wanting expression in the world. So, welcome back. So tonight's 8th pillar that we're going to be discussing is all about magic and miracles. So the pillar is as follows. I allow myself to remember that we live in a wild and magical universe full of mystery. I learn to release my logical mind in order to remember. And so I kind of see wildness, magic, and mystery as being the sacred feminine herself. So we all have masculine and feminine within us, men and women both. And as women, we've actually learned how to embody the masculine principle so much that we have lost a lot of our feminine, the intuitive, receptive, emotionally based, the water element within us that is tuned in, as Abraham Hicks would say, tapped in, tuned in, turned on. So we're in alignment with our deeper purpose, living a life of passion, connected to our hearts and our desires, and loving community of people that support us and hold us to our highest possibility. I believe these are all things that as an awakening woman in these times we're really desiring more of. And so this sacred path of the Mystic Priestess is all about reawakening this aspect of the magic and the miracles. And a couple I wanted to share tonight. I just stringed this new beautiful tree pendant that I got. I guess it was last month now with one of my priestess initiates who's become a close friend and confidant and assistant at times. We were going to choose beads for a special blessing way ceremony for another of the initiated women that's been through this process for her first child. And that baby was just born yesterday. And so I wanted to weave in the magic. This is the string, the red string that all the women that were at the blessing way wrapped around our wrist to hold space for this powerful woman stepping into motherhood for the first time. So in the blessing way, it's an ancient practice to honor a woman as she steps into this powerful initiation of becoming a mother. And it's different from a baby shower, and that's often for the family, and there's gifts exchanged, and that has a level of fabulousness to it. A blessing way is just for the mother to be taken care of, to sometimes have henna, a belly cast made, nourishing foods, massage, all types of wonderful things happen. And so in this particular circle, it happened to be, it was all of the initiated women that have stepped onto the priestess path. And this is how we're bringing temple times back to the modern age. This is how we're reawakening magic and miracles again, I believe, through this path. So each one of us reflected back to her what we saw in her, what we see her embodying, and holding her in her strength and her fortitude and her clarity and her passion for birthing this baby the natural way at home in a tub, a water birth. And so she chose to have a midwife, and her doula was actually one of the initiated priestesses as well. So she had an amazingly powerful birth, and I'm excited to hear directly from her when she's ready to share. But I just wanted to bring that in tonight, that this is an extension of that cord that all of us as women held for her to really stand fully in her power. And the power of intention, I want to speak with this too, is if we believe that we live in a world full of magic and miracles, then we do. And if we believe that we don't, we'll most likely create that we don't. And the linear logical mind, which is the masculine principle, necessary component for us to live in this world, however, it's strongly out of balance. So it tends to run the show because our society conditions us to believe that is the most important factor. And so this is the part of us that gets stuff done, that's clear, that's directive. It's that, linear, masculine aspect of us. And this feminine, flowing, magical, mystical piece is the piece that a lot of us have been searching for a long time. And I think speaks to the aspects of us that have been missing. And so I want to give you another example of magic that I experienced here recently. I shared this short story on one of the Tipple Talks earlier in the week. I was out for an evening walk, preparing for one of the talks actually, and which is why I shared it that evening, but I want to share it again in case you didn't hear it. So the sun was setting. It was becoming dusk down on the open field below my home here in the foothills of North Carolina, beautiful place. And a mist was starting to rise from the rain earlier in the day. And there was a warmth in the ground from the sun, but also because of the rain, that mist was rising. And I came out and around the corner to start to walk towards the field and paused, and there was a beautiful moon right there, strong and gorgeous. And the fireflies were still dancing in the trees. And I started to walk down the pathway. We mow one single lane through this wildflower field. I started to walk, and as I walked, I noticed the ground was lighting up around my feet. And once I looked closer, I realized that as summer comes to an end, the fireflies start to die. Their cycle has complete. And so they come into the grass and peacefully pass. These fireflies were still gently lighting, and as I walked, they lit around my feet. So just imagine the coolness of the air, the mist rising from the field, the fireflies in the trees and on the ground as I walked. That moment was just for me. And so that's that level of magic and mystery that's available to us all the time, and especially in deep connection to the natural world, which was one of the pillars I spoke about this week. That is that mystic aspect, as the earth is an extension of that sacred feminine principle. And I really believe that reawakening to magic and miracles again reconnects us with our deeper desires in our hearts, reconnects us with desire in general, with our sensual, sexual, creatrix self, the part of us that is creating all the time. And we learn to stop creating by default and getting intentional with our creations. And so I also want to share another story of one of the women that jumped into the 9-month program. She actually joined the 9-month intro program that I did the first of the year, and then the retreat over the summer. And a lot has been shifting for her all year. And we did a session the end of last week with a challenge she was having in her business. She had joined under the umbrella of another business, and it just wasn't working out. And she was trying to find a respectful way to bow out, but also get paid for the work that she had done, which had not happened yet. And so I talked with her through it. We got clear about what she wanted to create. And I share this story because this is how magic becomes real in our lives. So we got clear about what she wanted to create. And then we did a guided visualization using sound and toning and some of the tools that I utilize to forward into the future and set the intention for this creation that she desired. And I think that was Thursday last week. Well, Sunday night she messaged me. No, it was Monday morning, so it was a business day. This was yesterday. She said, "Oh my gosh, you're not going to believe it. He came to me and said, I think it's time for us to part ways. And here's the check for what you made through my company in the past 9 months." So this is the power of intention. And when we awaken this magic and mystery within us, we set the intention and then we send it off to the divine to handle. We let go of the how. Magic can happen, and it can happen very quickly. And so today on our follow-up call, she said, okay, so much is shifting so fast. I need to regroup and actually revision again. So we had a laser follow-up session, and she shared what all happened. And I said, okay, so let's do the same thing again. What do you want to see happen the next 6 weeks before our live retreat at the end of October? Because she was saying that's a great deadline goal for what I want to see next. So again, we got the vision clear. We went into nonlinear time and space, which is the meditative space of meditation, intention, and sound healing energy work that I facilitate. And we visioned it. And it felt so real to both of us that it was already handled. And so this is how magic and miracles can exist in our daily lives every day. But it takes belief in it. It takes practice, trusting our intuition, learning how to work with it, and reawakening all these pillars I've been speaking about over the past 8 days. Every single one of them serves the next and vice versa. They all weave together like this beautiful DNA helix together, all important and necessary. And honestly, the only thing that gets in the way of magic and miracles being alive in our lives all the time is our mind. That's it. That's actually where all the healing occurs, I believe, hands down. And especially through this 9-month immersive process, because we get to reflect what we see in each other, hold our intentions, speak them out loud, share our wounding, heal with ease, grace, and flow together in tribe and sisterhood, hold that vision strong until it comes to fruition, and deal with the dance of our lives that comes into play, because that's where the work occurs, right? That's the forgiveness work, the shadow work, the deep heart sharing, sound healing component that we incorporate, connection to the natural world, the elements of fire and water that we work with. So all of that weaves this magical dance together. So for your assignment this evening, I would like to challenge you to see how you could awaken some magic for yourself tonight, if not tonight, tomorrow. So quick action step. What is one thing you can do to awaken that magic for yourself? Maybe it's stepping outside and looking at the moon tonight if you can find her wherever you're located, or imagining her in your heart. Putting your feet on the moist ground in grass. Tuning in, imagining all your stress, worry, and concerns of your life pouring out of your feet into the earth. And then imagining that you then can bring in celestial energy, celestial blessings through your crown, down through your body into the earth. That's one simple thing you can do. 3 deep breaths, calm and peace and relaxing. And then set an intention for what you'd like to create over the coming months as we move into fall and winter. It's a beautiful time to step into the energy of creation as we will through this 9-month process. So this has been very exciting. I'm so thrilled that you've joined me for this 8-part series. I've loved it. I love hearing all the feedback. Share with me any nuggets you got from tonight's sharing and stories. Believe that magic and miracles are possible. If this is something you like to explore more deeply, my 9-month immersive process starts next week, Tuesday the 25th, our first group call. We have a couple spots left. So if this is pulling at your heart and soul strings and you want to have a follow-up conversation, I have a couple spots left this week to chat. So let me know. It is an application process, because I'd love to hear where you're at, what you're wanting to create in your life, if this is a good match for you. And if it's not, I'll surely share resources of all the amazing people I know that could be a better match otherwise. So clarity and excitement and awakening always activates when we have these power sessions together. I call them Priestess activation sessions. So let me know, ladies. And send me any more messages you'd like to about this series and how it's been for you. I'm going to be following up here on the Temple page, asking some questions about how this has been, getting some more feedback. So much love and blessings to you as the crickets and katydids are still singing outside and the cool mountain breeze is pouring through my windows now, sending blessings, calm, and peace to you this evening. and more to come. Much love and blessings. Good night.